Hey guys, it's takasta here again. Welcome to another video review. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Razer Manticor gaming mousepad. So this is part of a line of a series of 4 mousepads that Razer have released. I just reviewed the Razer Invicta, so this is the review of the Manticor. So the Manticor is actually a aluminum-bodied mousepad, which is kind of similar to that of the Ironclad, but they really changed the feeling of it. It feels much more sturdier. It's actually, like I said before, like I predicted, is a response to the SX, SteelSeries XS, and it indeed does feel like it a lot. So first, onto the price. The price is around $49.99, so $10 cheaper than the Invicta. With the Invicta, you get really 2 mouse pads, but this one you only get 1. So is it worth it? Well, I'll tell you about the performance, and you can really decide for yourself. Moving on to the build quality of this mousepad. This is a very well built mousepad. You're paying $49.99, so this is what you should expect from Razer. The surface is just a very high quality. You can tell already that it's made of very solid aluminum. The back, obviously, the anti-slip. So just overall, just a very nicely built mousepad. Yeah. In terms of the size, the Razer Manticor is 255 by 355 millimeters. So it's actually exactly the same as the Razer Invicta. As you can see here, I took out the mouse pad. As you can see a little bit of a discrepancy, but that size accounts for the aluminum base, I guess. So in general, this is the path that Razer has taken with all their hard mats, and I guess the medium size really suits them, or really suits the gamers. In terms of the anti-slip, is exactly the same as I mentioned before in my unboxing, exactly the same as the Invicta and the new mouse pads. So you can kind of take a look here. Does it work well? I would say very. You can see this. I'm moving this table like just down here. It works very well. So the anti-slip is done very well on this mouse pad. In terms of performance, I'm going to be talking about, again, the speed, the initial motion speed, stopping the control, and the overall smoothness of the mouse. And this is going to be a very quick review. So in terms of its speed, this is actually a very I wouldn't say extremely quick. The comparison I would make is actually the Invicta Speed Edition on the Invicta Speed side. It's almost identical speed as the Invicta Speed side. So you can tell already it's not extremely fast. It's not as fast as the Shinin Kai, but it's alright, if you can see here. However, definitely the SX, the SteelSeries XS, is a lot faster, and from aluminum pad you would expect that kind of quickness, but it's slightly slower than the SX, and that's something I do enjoy, because the SX personally I thought was too quick, and this is at quite an optimal speed. It's quite a nudge lower than that. In terms of initial movement speed, it's because it's slower, and because I do like the initial movement speed of the SteelSeries. Of the Invicta Speed Edition. So it's not fast at all. It's even with all the different mouse speed I've used, the initial movement speed is not fast. It does take a little bit of traction to move it on the mouse pad, right? With the SX, that's different. XS, it glides really quickly, but on this aluminum pad, it then does not really. You can't really initiate that quickly, which is something I do like, in fact. With the control, with that slightly slower pad, the control is much better, I feel. The control, again, is very similar to the Speed Edition, or Speed side of the Razer Invicta. Because it's kind of slower, but it's smooth, so you do like that control, as opposed to very quick, like the Shinin Kai. In the Shinin, for example, the SX is too quick, and the Controls Edition side of the Invicta is too quick. So this is by far not extremely quick. It's a notch lower, but definitely quicker than cloth pads. So I do like the control. You could stop it with relative ease, but maybe because of the aluminum base, it allows it to slide a bit more. But because it's slower, that's why you can control a little bit better. So that's probably the most accurate description I can give you in terms of an aluminum pad. And of course, talking about the smoothness, this is an aluminum pad. If you've ever used the SX or any kind of aluminum-based pad, you know it's extremely smooth, because that's how they smoothed it out. And I would actually say that it's almost exact kind of smoothness as the Invicta Speed Edition here. But the fact that the only difference is that this is made of aluminum. So the quality and the material that your mouse is on is different. And how this affects your gaming is because when your pen is on the pad, you feel this aluminum quality or this aluminum material. So it kind of affects your mouse movement in that sense, in the sense that it's the smoothness is slightly different. One last thing I do have to mention, because this is an aluminum pad, it's very susceptible to the wear and tear of mouse feet. This is exactly the same with ice mat, with steel or glass, any kind of glass mouse pads, and the SX as well. If you have mouse feet which are completely brand new, let's say with my MX518, I attached completely brand new mouse feet, it slides there's very little screech. You can hear a little bit of screech, but there should be very little screech, and it slides very very nice. However, if you have mouse feet which has been broken in just a little bit, you might get like screeching sound like this, even though it's the same type of Teflon. Just like for some reason there's a little bit of, because it's been worn down a little bit, so it scratches against the surface, that's why it causes that sound. For example, then I have the completely broken in Akari mouse feet, and again, there's no sound. So you really have to really either break in your mouse feet or use completely different mouse feet, completely new mouse feet, in order for it to work. Let's say, for example, I have here my Hurricane Edition. I just broken in a little bit, so it's not completely broken in, and you can hear it's extremely screechy, extremely screechy. However, if I use my IE3 here, which I put on completely new Hurricane line mouse feet, and you can see that you can't hear the screech. So it's very susceptible to this, and this is something that you do have to take note. If you would like some mouse feet, definitely go over to my site on my eBay store and itech.com. Check them out. Overall, some concluding thoughts on the Razer Manticor. With the extinction of the SteelSeries SX, I think, to be honest, I didn't think the Ironclad or the Scare were competitors compared to the SS. But when I picked this up, the Manticor, it just the feeling was so similar to the SX that it was unbelievable. So people looking for that similar feeling, they would try and go for this mousepad. I really like it because it's. I used to have an SX, but I sold it, couldn't find it again. So the fact that Razer came out with this Manticor, I just absolutely love it. The finish is nice. The glide is extremely smooth, but for the fact that you need mouse feet, I just absolutely love it. So that's my review of the Razer Manticor. I definitely would recommend this over the Invicta. Maybe. This really comes down to personal preference. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and subscribe, and thanks for supporting the cause. Thanks.